Good afternoon, students. And probably today is the last lecture of the molecular biology. And totally we have taken 12 lectures. So 10 are PPT based and 2 are blackboard based. Southern blotting and northern blotting I covered on the blackboard. And rest of the things I put it on the YouTube. In the form of PPT lectures. So total are 10 and you can use all of them for your molecular biology. Now only 8 lectures of biochemistry are remaining and 4 I have given to Dr. Vivek Jain, 4 to Dr. Dharamveer Sharma, and probably they will, I don't know what they will do, but probably they will give you the PPTs of their lectures to you, and whenever you will come back, then they will start teaching you. And meantime, I will ask if they want to give me some more topic. So I will be happy to deal with you. And I feel that you are my favorable students, so I will be doing that topic. But anyhow, in principle, it is my last lecture on molecular biology. So now I am coming to cloning of human DNA in bacteria using recombinant DNA technology. Okay. Cloning of human DNA in bacteria using recombinant DNA technology. Introduction of recombinant DNA into appropriate host cells. Okay, host are bacteria here. The recombination DNA inserted back into bacterial cell, host cell by the process called transformation, and host cells that contain recombinant DNA are called transformed cells. Right? The host cell containing the recombinant DNA are incubated under conditions in which they replicate rapidly. Okay, so they will keep on replicating. The host cells containing the recombinant DNA are incubated under conditions in which they are replicating. Conditions are the optimum temperature and pH for the bacterial cells growth. As the host cell divide, in addition to replicating their own DNA, they also replicate the DNA of the vector, which include the human DNA. Okay, so cloning, what we are using a bacterial cell for the cloning, but PCR, what we are doing, PCR for the amplification, we are using a temperature-based machine device for the amplification. Subsequently, relatively large quantities of human DNA can be isolated from cells, and if the host cells are grown under conditions permitting expression of the human DNA, the human protein produced from this DNA can also be isolated. Okay, if the host cells are grown under conditions permitting expression of the human DNA. Okay, if human DNA is expressed in the host cell, then we will get a messenger RNA. Messenger RNA will form the proteins, desired proteins. So the human protein produced from this DNA can be isolated. It is the photograph. Yesterday also I showed you this. It is the site of the classes of the plasmids. They are the plasmids are the extra chromosomal DNA in the cell. So what they are used? They are used for such type of manipulations. So plasmids are sometimes used for the cloning and all these things. So site of cleavage of plasmid, and here it is cleaved like this. Same restriction endonuclease is cutting here. These are the DNA fragments of the interest. Okay, and then they are put it here in the cleaved plasmid. So DNA ligase is the enzyme which is doing the work, and here we are having the cleaved plasmid. So they are inserted in that. It is becoming the chimeric plasmid. Recombinant DNA contains plasmid DNA and human DNA of interest. So you will find this pink one is the chimeric plasmid. Okay, it is the part of the human DNA here in the plasmid. Okay. So chromosomes are transformed accordingly in the bacterial cell, and we are getting a cell which is having a chimeric plasmid as well as the DNA of the bacteria. Bacteria are grown to amplify recombinant DNA. Okay, because we are providing the optimum conditions for the development of the bacteria, so they will divide and they will start to obtain DNA to obtain protein. Okay, DNA is obtained isolated plasmids, and so we are getting many plasmids. Okay, and then we are getting the cloned human DNA in sufficient form. Many copies we are getting. Like that, we are getting the proteins because it is the grow under conditions permitting expression of the genes. So we will get the messenger RNA and translation will be happening. So we will be getting many proteins after that. In the proteins of the interest, the human DNA of the interest. So just we have made the sufficient copies of the DNA with the use of the plasmid and the bacterial cell. We have got the copies of DNA, cloned DNA. We have got the copies of the DNA as well as the copies of the protein. But what is happening? We use here what bacterial cell and a plasmid. The extra chromosomal DNA particle is part plasmid. So we use that. But in the PCR, what we are doing in PCR, we are using the machine, and that machine is working on the basis of different temperatures. These are the applications of the recombinant DNA technology. Recombinant DNA technology is used to understand the molecular basis of number of diseases. Okay, so it is the clinical application of recombinant DNA technology. Molecular basis of disease, recombinant DNA technology is used to understand the molecular basis of a number of diseases. For example, familial hypercholesterolemia, sickle cell disease, thalassemias, cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, etc. Okay, they are the different disease, and they all can be treated by recombinant DNA technology. Production of proteins for therapy, research, and diagnosis. Production of proteins for the therapy, research, and diagnosis. Okay. These are the table. Human proteins and their role produced by recombinant DNA technology. So it is proteins produced, anticoagulant protein, human growth hormone, growth factors, colony-stimulating factors, erythropoietin, blood factors, insulin, interferons, interleukins, monoclonal antibodies, superoxide dismutase, proteins for diagnosis, vaccines. Okay, and it is their function. So you have to remember it. Okay. Now come to a word, gene therapy. Gene therapy is the introduction of normal genes into individuals who have defective genes. Okay. Gene therapy is the introduction of normal genes into individuals who have defective genes. So what is the outcome of the defective genes? That we are getting a defective protein or not at all protein. Because transformation, translation and transcription may not be successful when we are having a defective gene. So, or defective gene may be in such a way that it is okay transcribed and translated, but we are getting a defective protein. So, gene therapy is the introduction of normal genes into individuals who have defective genes. It is known as the gene therapy. Genes can be introduced into fertilized eggs from which transgenic animals develop, and these transgenic animals can produce normal offspring. Okay, genes can be introduced into fertilized eggs, okay, from which transgenic animals develop, and these transgenic animals can produce normal offspring. Okay, transgenic means containing genetic material into which DNA from a different organism has been artificially added. Okay, transgenic means containing a genetic material into which DNA from a different organism has been added. Okay, so it is the transgenic animals and gene therapy. Genetic counseling. What is genetic counseling? Genetic counseling is the device of preventing passing of defective genes to offspring. Okay, is the device of preventing passing of defective genes into offspring. Okay, and screening tests based on the recombinant techniques can be performed on a prospective parents prior to conception. Okay, if genes is rectified, suppose somebody is having a gene of a sickle cell production, then so that is cured. That is cured by the recombinant DNA technology, and prior to conception, the parents are treated. The screening test based on the recombinant DNA techniques can be performed on the prospective parents prior to conception. The fetus can be tested for genetic defect. If the fetus has the defect, treatment can be started at an early age, even in uterus. Okay. In forensic medicine, special techniques, example, DNA fingerprint is used in forensic medicine and can be used in criminal cases. You know, this is a very popular use of the DNA technology. Okay, right? So, even you can remember the case of the N.T. Tiwari. He was not ready to accept Rohit Tiwari as the son, but later on by the DNA fingerprinting, it was matched that it was the successful technique, and Rohit Tiwari was then accepted by the N.T. Tiwari as his son. The special techniques, example, DNA fingerprinting is used in forensic medicine and can be used in criminal cases. Okay, genetic counseling. The fetus can be tested for genetic defect. If the fetus has defect, treatment can be started at an early age. Okay, even in utero. Commercial applications of the technology, agriculture applications. In agriculture, plants that are resistant to diseases, insects, herbicides, drought, and temperature extremes, or more efficient at fixing nitrogen are being produced using recombinant DNA technology. Okay, so देश की culture, agriculture. So agriculture application in agriculture plants that are resistant to diseases. Okay, insects, herbicides, drought, and temperature extremes are more efficient at fixing nitrogen are being produced using recombinant DNA technology. Industrial application include the production of enzyme used in detergents, sugar, and cheese. Okay, these are the applications of the recombinant technology. So I am giving you few tables. Go through them and remember these tables. They can be helpful in the examination. Okay. DNA library. DNA library is sometimes called shotgun collection. It has nothing to do with the Shatrughan Sinha. Okay. DNA library is sometimes called shotgun collection. DNA library is a collection of clone restriction fragments of DNA that presents the entire genome. DNA libraries may be either DNA library is sometimes called shotgun collection. DNA library is a collection of cloned restricted fragments of DNA that represents the entire genome. Okay, genomic DNA library in which both introns and exons are represented. Genomic DNA library in which both introns you know, non-coding sequence, non-transcribing sequences, and exons coding sequences are present in a genomic DNA library, and complementary DNA cDNA library in which only exons are represented. So these are two types of library: genomic library and complementary or cDNA library. Okay, genomic library, I tell you. In genomic DNA library, both introns and exons are represented and thus contain every sequence of the genome of a specific organism. The entire genomic DNA of an organism is cut into small pieces by restriction endonucleases. These cut pieces are then introduced into vectors with bacteria. A collection of these different recombinant clones is called the DNA library. Okay, I repeated, the entire genomic DNA of an organism is cut into small pieces by restriction endonucleases. These cut pieces are then introduced into vectors, and a collection of these different recombinant clones is called genomic DNA library. To produce the complete DNA library, about 1500 fragments are required in the case of E. coli, but about 10 lakh fragments for human DNA. Okay, DNA library for the humans is very, you can say, big one. And E. coli is okay. We are having 1500 fragments, but in human library, we need about 10 lakh of the fragments. Complementary DNA library. In cDNA library, only exons are represented. It is constructed so as to include only those genes that are expressed. Okay, exons, only exons, transcribed sequences. cDNA library is more specialized and exclusive DNA library. It is more specialized and exclusive DNA library. To construct cDNA library, the messenger RNA from an organism is extracted and complementary double-stranded DNA are produced from this messenger RNA by reverse transcriptase. Okay, reverse transcriptase, you know, from DNA to RNA, but here from RNA to DNA by reverse transcriptase, this DNA is produced by the RNA. So, copy DNA library. The resulting DNA fragments are then inserted into suitable vector and cloned. A collection of these clones is called a cDNA library. Since there will be no introns in the messenger RNA, the explanation of the genes is easier in the C library, complementary DNA library. Okay. RFLP, restriction fragment length polymorphism. RFLP, important term, it is RFLP. Variation of DNA sequence is called polymorphism. Okay, variation of DNA sequence is called polymorphism. Different kinds of DNA sequences which occur approximately once in every 500 nucleotide or about 10 to 110 times per genome. Okay, in normal healthy individual, these alterations are in non-coding region of DNA at sites that cause no change in the function of the encoded proteins. Okay, so we may be having variations, but these variations are in the introns region. Those are not coding, so we are not getting any defective protein like that. The difference in DNA sequence can result in variation of restriction sites and thus in the length of restricted fragments. An inherited difference in the pattern of restriction sites is known as restriction fragment length polymorphism or an RFLP. Okay, an inherent difference in the pattern of restriction sites is known as restriction fragments length polymorphism or RFLP. Application of an RFLP. RFLP can be used to detect human genetic defects in prospective parents or in fetal tissue, for example, sickle cell anemia and thalassemia. Okay, it is used to human genetic defects in prospective parents in the fetal tissue, for example, sickle cell anemia or thalassemia. In forensic medicine, RFLP is used to establish a unique pattern of DNA fragment fingerprinting for an individual. Okay, these are the applications of the RFLP. Now come to the PCR. It is polymerase chain reaction. Okay. PCR is an vitro technique for amplification of the DNA. So many times I have told you about this PCR. Even when I was dealing with the endonuclease, exonuclease, even at that time, PCR is in vitro, means outside body. PCR is in vitro technique for amplification of DNA. It is different from the cloning. It is particularly used for amplified DNA for clinical or forensic test procedure because DNA is a very small length, right? So we want many copies of the DNA by the amplification. By PCR, DNA can be amplified from a single strand of hair or single drop of blood or semen. You see, good. It is Mazedar. By PCR, DNA can be amplified from a single strand of hair and single drop of blood or semen. Okay, type semen in the name cases. DNA can be amplified in vivo by cloning by recombinant DNA technology. Okay, application of DNA by PCR is faster and technically less difficult than laborious cloning methods using recombinant DNA techniques I told earlier. Now I will show you how DNA polymerase reaction is initiated. It is PCR, region of target DNA to be amplified, this dark blue one, it is need to be amplified. Okay, heat to separate strands, right? Heat is given and two strands are separate. I told you that it is a temperature controlled device. Now you add synthetic DNA oligonucleotide primer. Okay, why you want it primer? To start a new polymerase action. You need a base as a primer, DNA oligonucleotide. So these two strands are separated, and then you are getting DNA oligonucleotide primer. At thermostable, Tec DNA polymerase to catalyze 5 to 3 prime DNA synthesis. Okay. Tec DNA polymerase is the DNA polymerase which can work in high temperature. Okay, because because the action of proteins, action of enzymes, we need a very less temperature. But Tec polymerase is the enzyme which can work in higher temperature. So we use this Tec DNA polymerase to catalyze 5 prime to 3 prime DNA synthesis. Okay, so heat two strands are separated, then DNA polymerase. So new strands are formed and DNA is amplified. Okay, DNA synthesis step 3 is catalyzed by the thermostable DNA polymerase. After 20 cycles, the target sequence has been amplified about 10 to power 6 folds. Okay, so we are getting many copies of the DNA, by the action of temperature and by using a heat stable enzyme, that is Tec polymerase. These are the applications of the PCR. PCR very powerful diagnostic and research tool. Okay, in microbiology, it can be used to pick out and amplify DNA sequences that are unique to invading organisms and enable their identification. For example, viruses such as HIV are difficult to detect at the early stage of infection using conventional method, but can be identified by PCR. And even in COVID-19, this PCR is very useful because it is a RNA virus and we can isolate it and then we can amplify it and we use it for our purpose and for the identification. Okay, it can be used to amplify DNA for the purpose of DNA fingerprinting in the forensic laboratory, in clinical laboratory, and molecular biology. It is used in the antenatal diagnosis of mutation. Okay, these are the applications of DNA PCR. Okay, RNA can also be amplified by the PCR. These are the techniques for the identification of a DNA sequences. dot transfer techniques, because they are southern blotting, northern blotting, western blotting. I gave you separate lectures on southern blotting, northern blotting, and western blotting, and they are available on YouTube, and you can see them. Southern blotting in one lecture, and northern blotting and western blotting also in another lecture. Dot transfer is a technique used for visualization of specific DNA, RNA, or protein among the thousands of the molecules. Okay, so these are the blotting techniques, and I have given you separate videos for the southern blotting, northern blotting, and western blotting. Okay, now I am ending. Actually, two, 3 more slides are remaining. The blot transfer procedures. Okay, asterisk signify radio labeling. Okay, so it is southern blotting, it is northern blotting, it is western blotting, DNA, RNA, protein. Okay, it is, so details are there in the my video lectures. Okay, and now finally I will say you a thank you, a big thank you for your cooperation. So I have given you totally 12 lectures, 10 as a you can say as a PPT based lectures, and 2 lectures are Blackboard based lectures, and these are covering the blotting techniques, so you can use them. And please like my all videos. Okay, give me comments also if you are having any problems after coming back, you can discuss. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.